Impeachment virtually never succeeds in American history. It has succeeded, I think, but very, very, very rarely over the last couple of 100 years. Is this likely to change that? Is this impeachment actually going to happen?
Actually, presidents have been impeached, the equivalent of being indicted, but they've never been the equivalent of convicted and chucked out of office.
Yeah.
Not even Donald Trump,
Yeah.
with his abuses of power, setting the record for being impeached twice. But let's get to the facts of this, of the really essential facts. Fact number one, there hasn't been a single piece of evidence, despite years of Republican efforts and months of hearings, which linked Joe Biden to his son Hunter's business dealings. There has not been a single piece of evidence that links Joe Biden to any illegal activity connected with Hunter Biden, who, of course, currently faces charges over failure to pay taxes on time and possession of a gun while under the influence of a dangerous substance. So there are no facts here that would justify an impeachment inquiry. And indeed, a number of Republicans in the Senate, not the House, but in the Senate, are saying that. But two, why is this being carried out? And now we get back to the circus. And that is that the Trumpists in the House of Representatives, who have worked with this man while he was president and now during his campaign to get back into the White House, are trying to distract from Trump's legal troubles, which are significant. And of course, they're trying to weaken Biden in the 2024 campaign. So what do? Doesn't matter if there aren't any facts. You just throw mud at the wall day after day, hope that the media keeps staring at it. Because if everybody's watching the circus, well, they aren't paying attention to the real issues, the important issues outside the tent.
Scott, as an American academic and I presume quite a liberal chap, do you need to is it easier for you, though, to say, look, let's look at Donald Trump's impeachment, and it's much more comfortable to point and probe and get angry about Donald Trump than it is Joe Biden? Do you think there is a sort of liberal media bias among many people, among academics like yourself? Is there anything in that it's so much easier to go after Trump than it is to Biden? Because intuitively, that's what many people want to do.
Actually, despite all my fans on social media, I'm not on the left. I'm not even a Democrat. I'm actually an independent, registered independent in US politics. But let's put that to the side. Again, I'm going to start from the standpoint of what are the facts? You and I as journalists, you and I as analysts should always start from that. Now, what you're really asking me is there a both sides issue here? Is there an issue that Donald Trump's political and legal position is equivalent to Joe Biden's? I'm going to come back and tell you that you can challenge Joe Biden on his record as president. You can talk about his economic record, his record on foreign policy, his record on social and cultural programs, fair enough. But to say in any way that he is accused of crimes that are equivalent to Donald Trump's, again, let's bring back why they're not equivalent. Joe Biden has a son named Hunter who has been involved in business in China, in Ukraine, but there's not a single piece of evidence that links Joe Biden to those businesses. On the other side, Donald Trump faces 4 sets of indictments with 91 felony counts based on numerous sets of evidence presented by prosecutors and district attorneys, which are not only about, for example, the theft of documents, which are not only about interfering in the 2016 election, they're about an attempt to overturn the 2020 election and effectively stage a coup to keep himself in the White House in January 2021, preventing Joe Biden from taking office.
But is it?
Do you think those two are equivalent?
No, and I understand the point you're making very clear. But is there? Is there a possibility that Hunter Biden misused his relationship with his father because he's operating in countries and the name is Biden, and so this might not come back to Joe Biden, but is there something there that Hunter Biden may have misused the relationship with someone in a significant position of power in America?
Sure. And for decades we've had relatives of presidents who have used their family name to try to capitalize. I can remember when Richard Nixon's relatives were in a spot of bother back in the 1970s. You could talk about the rather embarrassing brother of Jimmy Carter, Billy Carter, if you're old enough. You can talk about problems for the first George Bush's sons, who of course were the brothers of the second President Bush. You can talk about all of that. But just because Hunter Biden may have invoked his father's name to get business, the same way that Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump could have used Donald Trump's name to get business, that in itself is not a crime, let alone a connection to a crime that would have committed by either a Joe Biden or a Donald Trump in this case.